details? Fine. I drive a Ferrari 355 Cabriolet. What's up? I have a ridiculous house in the South Fork. I have every toy you can possibly imagine. And best of all, kids, I am liquid. So, now you know what's possible. Let me tell you what's required.
Life advice is lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. We've had a lot of people following up on the lost LeBrons and what to do. It was overwhelming that people were like, take the shoes.
Shocker.
Which yes, as Rudy jumps in. I think that's just kind of where we're at. And again, I kind of knew the guy was going to take the shoes. I hope he emails in and tells us what he did. And then we had a couple people chime in that they lost shoes somewhere. So here's the thing. As much as I enjoy any participation, anybody that's engaged, like, hey, let's get involved. I don't know that we're going to pivot this part of the podcast to a lost and found. So I could just see Simmons in a month going like, hey, are you doing anything different on the pod? I was looking at some of the numbers. And be like, yeah, well, actually, we're not doing life advice anymore. We're just doing lost and found at the end.
Trying to help people find their stuff.
Yeah. We just, just trying to pay it back. Just building a community here. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, I would stop doing that. Okay. So we have a couple that I want to get to, but off of the Van Pelt story stuff. And there were a couple people that were there that heard the recap of some of the Van Pelt interactions, and they said you did a really nice job of being nice about everything that was happening. Poor Van Pelt, poor guy. So I'm going to present this one because then I had a couple chime, and one guy in particular was like, because now guys are fascinated with the move of their open to somebody that is famous and how to handle it. So we get a lot of different people telling different stories about their interactions with famous people, and they want a ruling on it. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a special. That could be a fixed baseball late July pod and how to handle. You sound like you want to jump in here, Cerruti.
No, I would just love to hear the success stories if there are any. I mean, I don't know how we could tell if they're true or not, but like if you cold asked a famous person and struck up a conversation and it worked out and you guys hung out for a bit afterwards, I want to know about it.
Well, there's a guy who apparently ran into me and he wanted to know if he did a good job or if he did a bad job. All right. So, hey guys, 5'7", 170, short, fit, decent size. Oh, okay. He's talking about his dick. Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think we need those.
You failed, buddy.
Yeah.
Failed.
This is.
We definitely don't want that trend. All right?
Ever.
We don't. That's the only. If you do that now, we're not going to read the email. So yeah, I'm the guy who bought Russillo with Sam Adams during intermission to Kill a Mockingbird in New York City a couple years ago. I remember this. Part one of my question is about famous person etiquette. Again, I'm going to clarify to everybody, I know how little fame I actually have compared to people that are actually really famous because I've seen it and I've been with those people. So despite a healthy ego at times, I do think I keep myself in a relative, I like to be on Reality Island with a lot of the perception that I have of myself. Okay. All right. I thought Cerruti wanted to jump in, maybe add to that, but all right. Part one of the question is this. Ryan told a story on Monday's pod about people coming up to SVP after the Super Bowl and not passing the test, so I'm wondering how I handle our interaction at the play. I wanted to see To Kill a Mockingbird. Sorkin, I think, redid it, and then Jeff Daniels was in. It was terrific. I recognized Ryan instantly. He sat down next to me before the show started. I tried very hard not to overreact. I could hear my wife's voice in my head, leave him the hell alone. He's just here to watch a play. Was I by myself? Yes. When the first act was over, I was going to grab a beer from the concession. I was there working. I think I was still doing Get Up. So I would just shoot up and I would try to do stuff on certain nights. And considering you're getting up for Get Up, I'd be up so early.
Does that make you more approachable if you're like obviously by yourself? It's like, wow, you mean God doesn't even have anybody to go with.
Probably
like,
not me.
Of course he needs a beer. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, probably not me. And then it's also a play. If you're in the play, it's like dark, unless you see me rolling in ahead of time or whatever. All right. So when the first act was over, I was going to grab a beer from the concession anyway, so I figured, what the hell? When will I get another chance to buy Ryen Russillo a beer? I brought the beers back and handed one to Ryan, at which point it was now clear I knew who he was. I think you probably knew that ahead of time, but I told him I was a big fan of the pod. We shot the shit over a beer for a few minutes about sports, why he was in New York, and that he had seen Gruden downstairs in his way. And that's right, Gruden was at To Kill a Mockingbird. Ryan couldn't have been nicer. Second second act started, play ended. We started to shuffle out, made conversation, and that awkward, slow exit for like a second. I considered asking him if he wanted to grab a beer somewhere, quickly realizing there's no way he was likely to agree. I decided not to do that, and we went our separate ways. So did I do it right? If I didn't, what should I have done? And lastly, there's zero fucking chance Ryan would have taken me up on the beer offer, right? There's another part of this, too, where he was caught in a real conundrum. He goes, not sure if Ryan remembers, but he was seated at the end of the row, and my seat was right next to him. There were 2 empty seats to my right, and then a woman by herself. Ryan, me, empty woman. The seats were really small with very little leg room, and I thought of moving to my right to give us some more room when the show started, but you never know if people are going to arrive late, etc. But when intermission was over and the second act was about to start, these 2 seats were still empty, and so I moved 1 seat to my right, put an empty seat between me and Ryan. I remember this. It was awesome. I love that. That was my favorite part of the play. About 10 minutes into the second act, the folks in the row behind me leaned forward and asked me to move back because I was now blocking their view. So I was faced with a choice. 1, move back next to Ryan and have him wonder what the fuck my story was. 2, move to the right next to the woman and have her wonder what the fuck my story was. Or stay put, force those folks to just deal. I elected for option 3 so as not to weird out Ryan or the lady, and instead just slid down a little bit in my seat to try to block their view less. It wasn't super comfortable, but at least I didn't weird out my favorite podcast host or some random woman in the theater. What should I have done there? Well, I appreciate what you did. I didn't know you were dealing with. And by the way, if you're 5'7" and they were freaked out because now you're blocking their view, there's no way you were blocking their view. Like, they were psyched that they had the 2 empty seats in front of them, not realizing that the people in the row have empty seat priority over the people behind you. And if it were a normal full theater, because it was pretty packed, because it was a pretty big deal that this play was happening when it was happening, like, what do they expect? So I'm sorry you were uncomfortable. All right. So anyway, yeah, I remember this guy was really nice. Grabbed me a beer. That was it. There was pretty much no chance I was going to go out with a stranger. I don't think I went out with anybody that I was friends with, because when it comes to Get Up, that's just the last thing you're going to do. I think I was there for Get Up because I used to go back and do Get Up, I don't know, once every few months, which was kind of fun because I like stay in the city for a week and then bounce and come back to LA, or when I was still in Connecticut, I would come down. So yeah, I don't think there's a lot to add to this one, but yeah, I just wanted to let him know because he put so much time into this and he's still been thinking about it years later. Maybe this wasn't worth reading. I'm not sure now that I've read it out loud and spent this much time on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a successful interaction, but it's not a successful, like, you guys hit it off and wanted to hang out afterwards. Like, that's what I'm looking for.
It would have been near impossible because I would have had to have wanted to do that. And I know that when I'm there during the week, I just, I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and talk about sports. I probably didn't want to stay up till 10 and talk about sports. So there you go. All right. Let's get to some of these. Guy has a moving away party. I love the efficiency of this email. 29, 5'10", 175, goofy athletic and could dunk before an ACL tear. That's awesome. I recently accepted a job that will have me moving multiple states away from the place I've lived for the last 10 years. I started telling my friends, and naturally we're planning a going away party. But my friend who's organizing it wants to make it a going away party and a meet and greet for his new girlfriend. They just became Facebook official last week. Context, this guy hasn't had a girlfriend. I've been in a relationship for a couple of years. Are people still doing Facebook official?
I have no idea, bud. That's the one I cut it. I went off easy. I'm going to work on my way to getting rid of the other ones, but Facebook was an easy drop, so I don't know.
So, Rudy, what's your status right now? It's complicated?
Wife and I are both on Facebook. We don't have an official, we're married kind of thing. I remember back in the day, people would like jokingly do that. I don't think anybody took it. If you did take it seriously, you were kind of like frowned upon.
I thought It's Complicated was hilarious. That was my favorite one. It's like, what are you talking about? Why are you telling us?
Yeah, why are you airing out the fact that you're having relationship problems?
It's complicated. It's complicated is one of the greatest technology improvements. Like, when I first was aware of what I'm like, wait, there's an option to say it's complicated.
If you're thinking about these DMs, go ahead. Basically, like if you're thinking about it, you might
open to other people. Yeah,
but then if it were the couple and both of them were like, it's complicated, it was a lock. Like, oh, you guys fight at happy hours in front of other people.
You just changed this, didn't you?
All right. So,
well, what's weirder though? What's weirder? It's complicated, or like back in the day when you used to poke people, like thinking like they got rid of that one pretty quickly. That was.
I think it's equal weird. Yeah, because I would have pokes from like all the girls I had crushed on, and also my aunt. And it's like, wait, what? What's this list? What is this list? Like,
how'd you guys meet? He poked me,
and he wouldn't stop.
Yeah. It was great. Just kept poking away. All right. Here we go.
He was persistent.
Yeah. Was there a way to reciprocate? Did you have to poke back? I don't remember.
Yeah,
you
poke
had
back.
to. Oh, I thought you had to.
Yeah, I was very
No, you could just
short-lived.
leave it there. You could just leave it there, but you can't poke back.
I got rid of it as soon as like somebody else commented on what I did, and it was a girl, and then the person I was with was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I can't control this. I can't control." And then she was like, "Say something." I'm like, argue with somebody on the wall for saying something nice about me. I was
Sounds
like, I'm out.
Should have had.
Went to it's complicated. That's when you switch your relationship status.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyway, this guy is asking, is it weird that I'm annoyed that his friend who was going to throw him a going away party is semi-hijacking the going away party so that we can all meet his new girlfriend? My first thought is, why do you care? Like, who gives a shit, man? Now, if I'm fair to the emailer here in the question, I do think that even those of us, like, you know how there's that guy that like goes out of his way to make you know that he doesn't think anything is cool, right? Like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, oh, you come to the reunion? Oh, no way, but I think people actually more people than not enjoy a time where they're the center of attention, and it's like, no, we're doing this going away. So I can kind of understand, but as a guy, I don't think you're allowed to get that mad about it, and I definitely wouldn't say anything to him. So yeah, your feelings are okay, but like, what do you actually want to do? Do you want to tell him, no, it's not about her? All right, like she's invited, but she can't be featured because I'm the main attraction. I think how weird this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feature somebody like that? Do you just like, excuse me before we get started, and then you like present her like a PowerPoint? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, why can't it just be your going away party and then his new girlfriend is also there? I mean, it's probably weirder that your buddy who's hosting you the party was like, I'd like to kind of hybrid this deal and have this be an announcement to the community that I'm seeing somebody right now. So I get your annoyance. I'm actually on the emailer side here a little bit, but I'm telling you, don't do anything. There's no like, hey, tell him this and then do this. No, I don't think that exists. I would just shut up about it and enjoy your party.
Yeah, it sounds like your buddy, like he can't throw a normal party to introduce everyone to his new girlfriend. So he's like obviously using you to do that. It is kind of a shitty thing to do. I wouldn't personally care, but it's not quite at the level of like proposing at someone else's wedding. It's not that like much of a dick move. I don't know. I think you just kind of let it slide, and if it gets out of hand, maybe say a word or two to him. Be like, "Hey, dude, calm down. This is my event." But like, let it happen, because if you don't let it happen, then you're kind of a dick.
Did you have a going away party, Surdy, from ESPN? Because ESPN used to, when somebody was going away, the ESPN going away party tour could be strong. You could be getting like one good one a month, especially towards the end of my run there, because it felt like everybody was. But those are the kind of parties you're a little bit younger in the ESPN social community. You lived for those things. You're like, wait,
yeah,
what are we doing? We going to a Vert?
Yeah, we had a little bar taco deal.
We're going to Cuvée, maybe little drinks and dancing after.
Yeah, we did the bar taco scene, couple drinks, couple bosses showed up. It was a good scene, but it was like the people that I would have wanted to be there. Like I don't even know if I invited that many people. It was like tight crew of like a dozen or so people. I'm not a big attention guy. I don't want that kind of stuff.
No, and I believe it with you. Did you go to mine across the street?
No, I don't think so.
Did you go to yours, Ryan? I feel like maybe you didn't even go. I don't know.
I don't remember you having one. Did you have one?
No.
Yeah.
What happened was, after the last show, there were some people in the department that were like, "We'd like to take you for dinner and drinks," and I was like, "Where?"
Oh, at the Mexican place?
Yeah, across the street.
Yeah. Which is like, that restaurant changed like 100 times. Nothing ever stuck for like 6 months.
It used to be a McDonald's.
Yep.
And so I went in, and I probably was like, yeah, I'll do it right after work. And then I was like, I probably want to work out though. And then I think I had a beer, and then I was like, all right, see you guys. It was very anticlimactic. And I felt like some people showed up that maybe I didn't totally vibe with. It felt like they had to show up. And then I felt like I had it. And the person who organized it, very, very sweet person. And She was really thoughtful of her, so I don't want to sound like a total dick, but it was not going to be like a crew.
You weren't going to let it. You weren't going to let it be a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be like all right, we're doing it, folks. You know, I just kind of like in my own, like, hey, I'm out of here. And by that point, most of my close friends were already gone anyway. At least ones that I would have gone out with. So it wasn't going to happen. All right. Anything else on that, Kyle? You ever have a going away party?
The only one I had was when I moved out here to California, and we got all the New York City kids, all the Poughkeepsie kids got in the middle of a field and just fucking got after it. It was great. It was so good. They were like seeing deer. They were like, what the fuck was that? But it was great. It was a good time.
All right.
I think there's still a couple beers from that, like in the deep recesses of my mom's garage fridge from like 2016.
A couple Keystones. Although you had a field party post college or post high school. That was like always the go to a parking lot somewhere and have a couple beers. Like I don't think I ever did that post age 21.
Kyle, were you guys in the field being like, I can't believe you're going to take over LA?
No, they were like, I think they were like, well, when am I going to come see you? I was like, buddy, I'm moving in with a girl who needs a roommate right now. I'm worried about how that's going to go. I don't think you're allowed to tag along for at least a year, pal. So, you were letting guys know immediately. Yeah.
35, 6 foot, 330, athlete. Yeah, you are. During a recent road trip, I got my fiance into your show by listening to old life advice segments. Thank you. During one of those segments about a guy's insecurity with dating taller women, my fiance tells me that when we take our engagement photos, she wants me to wear special shoes or shoe inserts to make me appear taller than her in the photos. As previously stated, I'm 6 foot tall and she is 5'11". Before the final words left her mouth, I refused, stating that I was already taller than her at 6 feet, to which she replied, I don't believe you. 2 years into this relationship, she was questioning I was actually 6 feet tall. Hey, man, I know the feeling. As soon as we got home, my back was to the wall of a door frame. She measured me 5 feet, 11 inches, and 1/2, no shoes. I explained that you always round up. And that I almost always wear shoes. I'm 6 foot tall walking around. Bro, you're way over 6 foot tall in shoes. You're like Jack Reacher, just towering over
Give me a
people.
break.
Have you guys watched Reacher yet?
No.
The movie?
No,
Yeah.
the TV show on Amazon.
Oh, no.
The guy's tall. They make tall references like he can fly. Like he's the only person that's ever been, and he's 6'5". Somebody goes, "Oh, he's 6'4". He's like 6'5". And then there's this other scene where he's checking into jail, and they're like, "We don't have anything that'll fit you except a circus tent." And it's like, dude, he's just a pretty big jack guy. Like, and he is.
Wait, is this one with Tom Cruise?
No, there's an Amazon series that's out now. Here's the
but
plot.
wasn't it Krasinski? Wasn't it Krasinski first, or was that a different guy?
No,
Tom Clancy.
That was
Krasinski's tall too. No, that's Jack Ryan.
Oh,
Jack
sorry.
Ryan. Yes.
Sorry.
yes,
I
great
can't believe
show.
I answered that one right.
Sorry.
He's tall too, but no, this Reacher show, which I'm sort of just enjoying because I don't know, it's just a decent watch and I'm checking it out. The plot line is kind of like, Reacher, did you kill those people? No. Did you? Yes. Are you going to stop killing people? No. Are you? Probably not. Reacher, you need to stop killing everybody. Okay, I promise. Do you? No. There you go. Okay, so
And scene.
But it's a fun
That's
watch.
a pretty great review.
Yeah, I'm saying watch it. But just, it's not The Wire. All right. Let's get that out of the way. But yeah, he's 6'5" in the show. Apparently he's 6'2" in real life, and he's huge. I mean, he's kicking dudes' asses left and right. Don't get me wrong, but the way they talk about his height in that show, you would think there's never anybody who's been walking around that's ever been 6'5" in the history of people. All right, back to our guy. He's rounding up. He's 6 foot tall walking around. We're saying you're way over that in shoes. She measured 5'10". So wait, who's lying now? All right. Now I don't feel like I'm insecure about my height. You shouldn't be, by the way. But I'm also aware that if I was an inch shorter, I would have never gotten a first date with my soon-to-be wife. But I'm not interested in wearing moon boots to our engagement photos so she can wear heels. I told her that she's the abnormally tall one.
Nice, dude.
No.
Fire back.
And that I want to wear my normal dress shoes, which have a little bit of heel anyway. We can't agree, So we want to let the Life Advice crew settle it. The shoot is on St. Patty's Day. Your thoughts? All right.
Oof.
Just wear whatever she wants you to wear. It's the engagement photos. That's what I would do. I love everything you said. I'm happy for you. It's not like she's asking you to wear inserts or lifts the rest of your life. It's just for the engagement photos. She wants you to be taller than her. Do you want to be shorter than your wife in the engagement photos? Now, again, some people chime in. What's wrong with that? A ton is wrong with it. Okay? Not really, but I think if we all had a choice, but you do want to be taller than your wife in the engagement pictures, I just don't know how many people are checking the no box. I think it's a low number, if I'm just guessing. So if she's going to wear heels, like, this is just a picture. These are for her. What are you sending them to your buddies?
Wallet size?
Right. It's going to be in your house, and then she's going to make a ton. You're going to pay for a ton that you're never, ever going to use. And then maybe you use it for the save the date or whatever. I would just give in on this one. There's going to be so many other fights that you're going to get into when you're married. Just concede this one. And you know what? Maybe it's a chip later on, when you decide to do an addition by yourself to save money. And she's like, I don't like that idea. And he goes, hey, I wore your moon boots for the engagement photos.
Hold it over her head forever.
Forever. So that's what I think. I think she just did you a favor. So, Rudy?
I think there's a compromise here. You can wear the shoes you want, and they make those like gel insoles that add like an inch to you that you could put in regular shoes. So just wear those. And I actually think she's kind of right, even if she's being a little bit of a dick about it. Like, do you want to be shorter than her in these pictures too? Think about that. Like, everyone's going to see this, and what's the first thing they're going to say? Oh my God, she's taller than him. Is that weird? And I'm not saying it is weird because we just talked about that, but I think you're actually doing yourself a favor if you just do the insole thing, wear the shoes you want to do, then you're an inch taller than her, and then everything's fine. Everybody's happy.
The other problem is because you're 330, people don't realize how tall you are, right? It's just the way it works. When you're thinner, you look taller, and you're a thick dude, but you're an athlete as well. But maybe the bigger issue is that she never believed him, and they had to go home immediately and check the tape. And I don't have a problem.
She's
if he's
technically
5'11",
right, though.
Oh, so Rudy, come on.
I know
5'11"
you
and a
do.
half,
I know you
he's saying
do
6 feet.
round up. I know you do round up. But his thing of like, unless you're a basketball player or like at the NFL Combine, no, you don't get measured in shoes. Like, I know my height not with shoes. I'm 5'10". I'm a true 5'10". I don't round up. I don't round up to 5'11". I'm 5'10". But I don't also put on like a pair of Clarks to add an inch to my height and say I'm 5'11". I don't think that's realistic. I don't think that's fair.
When I was at ESPN Radio in the early days, I had never met more guys that claimed 6 feet that weren't. Now, Greeny, Golick, tall guys. Cowherd's tall. I'm all right. Van Pelt's tall. But then there were other guys that were definitely not tall that were like, yeah, I'm 6 feet. And I was like, I think you're in that 5'10" range. But I'm not marrying any of those guys, and I'm not standing next to them in an engagement photo. So none of that's even that relevant. I think him saying 5'11" and a half, going to 6 feet, I think that's fine. But that might be the bigger issue.
You could always claim shrinkage too.
Yeah.
Like,
Squats.
it's got a lot of pressure on my my tailbone and spine, and we'll get it worked out one day. But for right now, it's 5'11" and a half.
So what did we rule here? What were the votes? I say just do it, get it over with.
So
I
he
think you
says
do it too. Yeah.
All right.
My initial thing was going to be no, but you talked me into it. Yeah, that's fine. It's one time.
Yeah, there are better fights. As we say often. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Please subscribe. Ryen Russillo Podcast, Spotify, Ringer. Thanks to Steve and Kyle. Back on Friday.